Guys, welcome to Be Monthly Live. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, Bartlesville. I am Keith McPhail, sitting with my beautiful wife, Christy. We want to welcome you guys to Be Monthly Live. Coming to you live today with in our beautiful offices here at Price Tower, and we have a great show for you guys today. First of all, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You're good.
How are you?
I'm good. Well, we're always excited. We always do this show because we want to premiere the issue that's coming out, and this issue in October. Kind of a different tone we took with this issue than last year. And one of the things that we did for this year is we really wanted to focus on cemeteries. And if you think about cemeteries, I love history, as everybody knows. So cemeteries to me, they're beautiful. And so our feature this month is on cemeteries, the history of cemeteries, who's buried out there, some famous people. We talk a little bit about Frank Phillips's mausoleum, which ironically has a phone in it and also air conditioner just in case. So here's the cover. So our October cover is the Labadie Mansion, which is kind of a little north of Copan, and it's a beautiful structure. Me and Chance Franks went out there and took some shots. We spent about 5.5 hours out there. We got lost. Back in the 80s, that was a place to go to drink a lot of beer, and so Christy never experienced that, but I did. So me and Chance went out there and took some of these shots out there, and we wanted to get kind of a little spooky feel. But the building itself isn't really scary necessarily. It's just a great stone structure, and so. Debbie Neese at the History Museum wrote a story, a 2-page story about the Labadie Mansion, and it's the real story, and she called it the Gingerbread Mansion. So here's a shot that was taken by Blake Goodwin, which is a beautiful shot, and we had the rights to use that for our cover, but I really wanted to get our own cover. That's what I love to do about our covers, and so I think it turned out great, and we call it Hallowed Night. So anyway, we're excited about this issue. We've got a lot of good stuff in here. On our show tonight, we have Alan Gentges. I want to make sure that's right because it's a great name, but the name that I can't say. And so he's here. Also, we have Aaron Sparks with us today. He's going to be singing the song that he wrote for Officer Fouts, who I really want to say something real quick about that. We went out to last Saturday at Sal's Donuts to help raise some money for the family, for the Fouts family, and we raised over $5,000. We went live out there and we raised some money, and that was the
Sal
whole
did a
point.
great job making
Yes.
all the donuts.
He sold over 2,000 donuts. So, and I did have some donuts that day. So anyway, that next morning, early morning, Officer Fouts passed away, and so we just want to say we're still praying for the family. We just lift you guys up in prayer, and so anyway, Aaron wrote a great song for him. He's going to sing it today, and I think it's going to move a lot of people. It moves me. So, so what was your favorite story in the magazine?
I had.
We just got them yesterday.
Yeah, of course we've seen them.
Yes.
A lot. I'm in November right now in my brain, but I really like, there's an interesting story that Kay Little wrote about mourning and the different ways people mourned and things that used to be like a tradition. You think of all black, that's not always the case, and then things that people made with hair of the people that had passed away. And there's some things at the History Museum that would be interesting to go and look through and find out more about, different kinds of caskets and things like that, which all sounds very morbid, but it's really not. It's fascinating, and I like that a lot. I also liked Our Good Word. That was good.
Yes.
Talks about hope and
Yes.
things that are brighter, and so
Jason Elmore.
so that was really good.
That.
I did enjoy that, but
and our buddies, 3 guys in the Ville, who are going to be on the show.
Yep,
so,
we'll see them a little later, and they will not be sad or morbid or boring at all.
No.
So that'll be fun to stay tuned and watch them.
And it's great seeing what those guys have been doing with their show and how it's taken off and really got popular, and we just want to support them. So I've got my notes today, so I just want to make sure we talk about little things here. Of course, we talked about the cover. You know, one of the interesting things about the Labby Mansion is some people say no one ever lived in it, but they actually did live in it, but for a very, very short time. It's a fascinating story, and now sits on the, I just went blank.
I don't know what you're thinking.
The
I was
ranch.
trying to say,
The Mullendore Ranch, thank
yes.
you. It sits on the Mullendore Ranch, so now it's just a beautiful thing, house out there. So anyway, so everything going good. So for October, I got to say off the cuff, I always have to say something off the cuffs, and so for us, I wrote a pretty moving up front for this issue, and I talk about Tyler. I talk about the day that we lost Tyler, October 8th, 2009. So we're coming up on 9 years, and so with Christy's permission and her blessing, I wrote a great up front that I talk about Tyler and what his passing has meant to us and our family. And look, I'm telling you, I married the strongest woman in the world.
I tell him that's not true. I know his mother well, and so I beg to differ, but thank you. And he read the upfront to me one day before we went to print, I think, because it's one of those that he kept saying, I'm going to write about this, and I was like, no, you're not. But he read it to me, and it was very sweet. There were he cried, which made me, of course, tear up. But he's a good writer. He writes things that I would not ever write down. So I think it's good. I hope you guys, get something good from it. We don't want it to be sad. And of course, it all happened during homecoming week, which is
this week. Go Bruins.
It was the night of the parade, which was last night. So I'm glad the parade's over and that it was good, and we're moving on to the homecoming game. But anyway, it's always interesting. It's always an interesting week for us. But anyway,
well,
it's been a hard month, I feel like, for Bartlesville. I feel like we've kind of had some rough things, and I love how the community still pulls together. I remember they did that for me as well, and so, it's just it shows the strength that we have in the community, and I appreciate everybody, and I know that we're going to be there for the people that have struggled this last month. So anyway, but thank you for writing that.
Yes, you're welcome. So hope you guys enjoy that. So a couple other things real quick. We got Outpost Coffee. There's a great story in there that we wrote about, that Ann Jeanette wrote about. So those guys are great, what they're doing there. Rustic Pony, great little store out there on Highway 75. So that's a good little store to go to and see. And so I think for us, we're just excited about October. I tell everybody, in the next 10 days, if you don't get a magazine, you're not going to get one. I mean, these things just fly off the shelves, and we are so blessed that people take.
People loved September and all the Western stuff, and still the show here going on, Women Artists of the West. You've got to go see those pieces of art. It's amazing. If you haven't been there yet, so please come see that and buy something.
Buy some art. So real quick, I'm going to show kind of the feature real quick. This is the feature, History is Alive in Area Cemeteries, and Mike Wilt wrote this, and he really, when I told Mike that he's going to be writing about cemeteries, now the joke is, so you want me to continue to write about dead people, because nobody's ever going to read it. But I think this is fascinating. I think you guys are going to love this feature story. It's got some great pictures in here, and ironically, if you look at Memorial Park here, this picture, you have No Water Road right here, and then this is Silver Lake, this is Swan Drive right here. So it's fascinating, and there's not a house or a tree anywhere to be seen. So great pictures. Thank you for the pictures at the History Museum.
And
Anton, yes.
Anton does it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a really well-known photographer moved back to town and offered to take some of these pictures from us as well, and you'll have to check those out too.
Okay, so let's go over and talk to Alan and see what's going on with the green space. City Councilman, I'm going to say Ward 4.
That's correct.
And I'm standing in Ward 4.
You are standing
This building. So what does that consist of, Ward 4?
Ward 4 is essentially everything north of Adams,
Okay.
from 75 Highway to the western border.
Okay.
And then everything between Cherokee and the river from 13th Street north. And there's a little sliver that goes down my side of Shawnee all the way to Hillcrest.
Wow.
And that's where we live. We live across from the old Diamond Mansion.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, how long have you been a city councilman?
Been a city councilman, this is my second year.
Second year. Great, great. Well, we want to bring you here because you're really I'll say in charge, but you really have your whole self in this green space. And we're excited because B Monthly is right here at the Price Tower, and it's going to be right in our backyard.
That's right.
And so we are big supporters of the green space. So I want you to tell us, how's it going with the green space, where we're at. I know we're close. I know we had a bunch of artists here, students here.
Yep.
So tell everybody what's going on.
Okay, well, let me tell you a little history, and then I'll tell you where we are today. This idea had popped up probably 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A group had gotten together and thought about it, and when I decided to run, some of the folks who had been involved with thinking about possibly putting in green space came to me, and I said, yeah, I think we should do that. So starting in January, the year I was elected, or the next year actually, we started working on this project, and there were a lot of folks that couldn't get this done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this wouldn't be something the city would
Right.
embrace. But we started building support, and then we put it in the bond election. It passed overwhelmingly in the bond.
It did.
And the next process was the process we're in now, which is a design.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened with the design, we put a committee together, and I'm co-chair of that committee. Various people who are involved in town, civic leaders, folks who are involved in the arts and entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
because this is going to be part of that. And we've been going through that process. And then the students from Taliesin came 2 weeks ago. 13 of them came, and they did what they called a design charrette, which I didn't know what charrette was.
I didn't either. I'm not the only person.
We kind of snuck in there and kind of looked over their shoulder when they were doing all this. So we wanted to say,
Yes.
oh my
Oh,
gosh.
the energy there is
Yes, it was
amazing.
great.
Well, charrette means cart in French,
Okay.
and it means that you're putting
Everything in.
something in the cart.
Ah.
So they had three groups, and if you were there, you saw what they were doing there in the Lions Gallery in the VCC. And after 30 hours or so of them working, they were there overnight, and they'd been here a couple of days. They came up with 3 designs, and great designs, had great ideas as far as certain kinds of elements that are really going to fit with our green as we go forward. And so what we did after that, now we've had a meeting this week in which all of the elements that we believe that are going to go into the final design were brought together, chosen from each one of the design groups.
Right.
And now there will be there is kind of a preliminary. Can you have a preliminary final? But that's what it is. A preliminary final.
Yeah,
design.
that was that night, or was that what it was held that evening?
That evening is when they
Yes.
presented it, yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then this Wednesday, in fact, just 2 days ago, the group met again, and now we're starting to come to an agreement.
So when do you think that agreement's going to happen? When do you think you guys are going to say, this is what we're going to do, this is the design we want, this is what we want the city to get behind?
The next meeting will be October 17th,
Okay.
and this is open to the public, so please come.
Yes.
We've had a really good response to this.
And that's going to be at the,
It'll be at the City Hall.
okay, City Hall.
And-
Everybody needs to come out for that.
We'll make sure that we go whatever big room that we need to fill it up, as
Good.
many people as
There was
we
about 70 or so at the meeting before. I don't know how many were there the other night.
I'd say again that kind of size. And when we did our survey, over 1,000 responses to the survey, which I think is kind of
And
impressive.
people are excited about this green space. You see other large metropolitan cities do this green space. You don't see a lot of cities this small. And maybe you do. Maybe you guys have studied other cities at 38,000 people. Are there other cities that...
Well, Owasso and Broken Arrow have done something. But no place in the country has what we have. We have the Price Tower and the Taliesin Design a community center within a block of each other.
Yep.
And it's an architectural significant, unique place. And this green will just add to that, and it will showcase it.
And it almost connects them. It connects those two.
That's the idea.
And we saw some drawings where it comes right up into the community center. The fountain's still there, splash pads, and some of the designs were incredible. What these students are doing.
Well, the direction that we're going, there are certain elements that'll be there. There'll be the fountain will stay, and there'll be some iteration of that. There'll be another water feature the children will be able to play in. There will also be a performance venue, and it'll be set in a direction that audience and performers will be comfortable in, hopefully any time of day.
We're hoping to do that.
To help
get
some performers coming in. I mean, we've already got our wheels turning.
We love that. We love what you guys are doing. So that'll be great. Then there's going to be areas that will be shady. There'll be open areas. There'll be a lot of natural rock because we want to kind of bring in the feel for what we have here. And so on the 17th, we'll probably have something that's pretty close. I assume we'll probably have at least one more meeting before we make a presentation to the council. The city council has to vote on it, and that should be on November 5th.
Okay.
And that will be the
we're close.
The design. Then construction documents, and then moving dirt, which is always exciting.
It is part, and we'll be there when that dirt starts to be moved.
Good.
So, what's the time for to build it? I mean, what are they saying? If you guys started moving dirt in February of next year, when would it be done?
It'll be driven by what the ultimate design is. And of course, we're under a certain budgetary restraint because only so much money was allocated.
And how much was that now?
1.7 million.
Okay.
1.75, I think. There's some additional funds that had been in place, like to fix the curb and the drive area. We're going to use that in what we're doing. Also, in conjunction with this project, we moved 2 years ago. We moved the stormwater management stormwater project forward, and so we'll start here at 6th Street, and that'll be in conjunction with that. And that's a fairly large project.
Good.
It goes all the way, and we fix all the downtown drainage problems that way.
Great.
So
downtown's booming.
It is. Downtown's. And next year in the springtime, you'll see all the roads in downtown resurfaced under the bond. You'll see the attaching Pathfinder to downtown area and the bike path for downtown.
Great.
Which was also part of the bond.
Yes.
So on your answer to your question about how long construction takes, it's kind of a function of what the final design is.
Okay.
Depending on how long construction documents take, I would say anywhere from 3 months, which is what I'm pushing for. It could be as much as a year, but I'm certainly going to push that hasn't happened.
Right.
So if we could start next year, I think that we'd have a space maybe by October.
Wow.
So
that's great. Gosh,
because I believe that whenever government does this kind of thing, people don't want to wait. They want to see results, and that's what we're pushing for.
Right. So give me some city dirt. Let me know what's going on with the city. Give me something about the city that we want to know about.
Why do you say
that?
City dirt. Here we go. Well, I don't know.
I just want to know something that maybe not everybody knows. It's coming up. It's something exciting, some news, something.
Right. Some of the things that are happening, and some folks know this, but a lot of times people don't. Of course, we have a new police chief.
Yes.
Our longtime chief is retired. And
thank you, Tom, for your service.
And thanks, Tom. And the new young man, a younger fellow, and he's coming from Anadarko.
Good.
Meeting with him today. I hear he's a very nice fellow, and we'll have a conversation this afternoon. Some of the other things, there'll be another bond issue in 2019, depending on how everything falls out. So I'm asking people to tell us what they would like to see in that issue. And some of the neighborhoods are talking. A lot of times roads, and we always focus on roads. And then I would like to see a project. A lot of people don't know this, but we're developing a new industrial park off of Sunset on the west side.
Yes.
Just on the east side of the airport. And we'd like to see some improvement in infrastructure in that area to include that new industrial district to bring in more primary jobs. In conjunction with that, what I'd like to also see there's a growing group of folks who like to ride bikes in town.
Yes.
Fat Tire would like to be involved in these kind of mountain bike races, which I never knew about mountain bike races, but I do now.
Put these trails together.
Yes. And we'd like to see a way to connect downtown with Hudson Lake.
Yes.
So that we could have those kind of things come here. And also, again, would be an economic benefit, not only from the standpoint of people coming into town, but younger people wanting to live here, because that's kind of the future of Bartlesville. And what you guys are doing, I mean, with this magazine, what other town of this size has them? Was that kind of quality magazine?
Well, thank you. We love what we do, and we love to support Bartlesville and talk about it. And we just don't have enough pages to talk about stuff, and that's why we want to have people like you. I think people want to know what's going on in the city, and where our tax dollars are going, and what they're being spent on. So I like what you guys are doing, and we really appreciate you for coming by and talking to us.
Glad to do it.
Nice to see
Thank
you again.
Thank you, Keith.
So I want to introduce three guys in the Ville. We got Clint, Casey, and Matt. We appreciate you guys being here today. Clint, Casey, Matt. I got a little pointer here.
Nice.
So these are the three guys in the Ville, and if you haven't listened to their podcast, it is funny as I can't say the word.
Funny.
It's funny. It's so funny.
We know if you haven't listened. That's weird because that's not what we were going for. We were going for a very serious
talk.
You guys are funny, though.
Yeah. We want to like heart issues.
Now, how many shows have you guys done? Who started it? What? Tell me how it all started. What?
Casey, go ahead.
Well, I approached both of these guys separately, thinking that it was something we would never do. Casey and I would get together at church and be like, what is with people at the grocery store just camping out in the aisles? And then we were just like, this would be a great idea to just, people need to hear this. And Clint, we did a bunch of events together, and he would steal the show, and I would just be in the background like, hey, I'm here too.
That'll happen here now too.
But Clint is like,
Everybody knows Clint.
He's our foundation, and everybody knows him. He's the reason that people listen. He gives us the notoriety we need.
That's
to
really
carry
not
on.
true. As I said, like in the magazine article, it's like you guys are the only ones worthy of an audience. I just keep the show moving along.
They are in this month's issue.
They are.
Obviously.
Yeah, they are in this month's issue. That's why we're here.
Wait, you guys have a magazine?
Yeah, we do have a magazine here. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called B Monthly.
Cool.
It's about 12,000 of them every month. So
We'll give you one.
yeah.
Okay, I'll get one.
Actually, this one.
Every
One
month.
free one.
Yeah, one free one.
Actually, every month.
I have a way of derailing our show too. So
So we've been on. Who
It's
else?
just him constantly talking.
That's the way it is.
Or just we don't show up.
When we were on the show, that's all we did was laugh. So you guys had like a first question. What was the first question?
No.
What would be your song if you came out on
Your walkout
stage?
song.
Oh,
You guys
walkout
sing.
I don't. Mine has probably changed since. What is your guys?
Dip Your Wings by Peter Cetera is playing in the car a lot.
Is that even a real song? How
How dare you not know that?
I've never even heard that person.
You don't pursue.
We've never heard of
Is that a 70s?
Peter Cetera, like Glory of Love from Karate Kid.
Oh,
Everyone knows
Oh.
that. Karate Kid.
you have to use. I know 80s movies.
Right.
Right.
I wasn't born.
And so, what's yours right now?
I think I said on the podcast it was still Eminem, so pretty hardcore. I'm gonna stay with the rap.
You're gonna stay with the rap?
Lose yourself.
That probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think anything by Pitbull would be a winner. Just so I can do this.
I mean, I'll change mine. Club Can't Handle Me Now by Flo Rida is really kind of one of my favorites.
Can't handle
That's
me
so
now.
right up your alley.
Oh, I mean,
When you walk out of the bank, is that what plays?
oh yeah. When I walk in the morning, I have it queued up. Sometime around 10:30.
Flow right.
Hit it.
So,
His voice say flow.
and I think you guys told me that you guys have a listener in Virginia or West Virginia.
It's
or
actually Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Two.
So you guys have 2 listeners in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
So you're pretty much across the United States.
And it may be like a spam kind of a bot thing that automatically clicks them in. I don't know if they're listening.
I thought they were listening to some cooking show. It's 2 old women.
Cooking show, Margaret. Not what I thought.
No, I mean, I think Zach, who's not here with us today, he's our sound guy.
Yeah.
And he's the reason, I think these guys would agree, that we're successful. Zach Hendricks, he helped us connect everything so we're out everywhere we could possibly be, and then he sends us like, hey, these are your average listeners in each county or state.
Nice.
And we bypassed Bartlesville because we knew we would like possibly get a big chunk of Bartlesville. We went right to Connecticut. It's like 40 listeners in Dallas. We're like, but we have 2 in Connecticut.
But with that takes us from like a local to a national.
Your national
podcast.
Yeah,
So,
national podcast.
We're going to take over Canada next.
right.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
so-
then go international.
yeah.
That's right.
Wow, that's so cool.
Okay,
Still
so
7 listeners, but it's international.
They're spread out very
Well, I think the key for you guys is you got to do it every month.
when's the next one?
When's the next show?
That's a great question.
Casey?
Here
Yeah.
Is it January? Are we going to be?
If you just stop right now and we leave,
Yeah.
you guys could just
You could
call
start
your
right
guy.
If you guys leave right now, these 2 will end up fighting.
If you guys leave right now and we're like, all right, Clint, let's do a podcast, he'll be like, shit, awesome, I'm in. And then like 5 minutes before the podcast, he'll be like, one of my 17 kids has their 4th dance recital that I have to be at, so I'm gonna have to go.
You're a good dad.
That's usually how it goes.
He's a great dad. Clint is one of the busiest individuals
I-
ever. I'm like, hey, Clint, you want to grab a coffee at like 1 in the afternoon? He's like, no, I'm actually hosting an event right now. Or he's the voice of the Bruins, which not a lot of people know, but
Voice
You
of the
are
Rams.
that. You have that voice.
You do. Thank you. You do.
Will you say Flow Rider tonight at the game?
flow right.
I will try. I'll try.
Try to sneak that in there.
That'd be good.
Yeah. I
So-
snuck Matt's name in one time during the
Dude,
game.
can we tell that story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have time?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sitting in the stands, and I know Clint's up in the box. He's the voice of the Bruins, and so I texted him. I said, "Clint, you have to say something that only we would get." And I can't remember if we were playing. We weren't playing
We were getting hammered.
we were getting hammered. So basically, nobody's paying attention, and we're just hanging out, having a good time, supporting whatever's left to support. And
The kids.
the kid, yeah, the children. And then all of a sudden, we're on offense.
Yeah, we're on offense.
We're on
so-
offense. The team that we're playing makes the tackle, and I hear over the stand or over the intercom, tackle made by Matt Clark.
No.
And I immediately stood up and I was like, yes! And I look up in the box and Clint is he's just pointing at me. He's like, made my night.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I was like, it's typical. I'm like, he's never going to get this. He'll never notice it. And I don't think you noticed like right away. You may have, but I noticed his wife, Laura, is like,
See, I never heard that in high school, so it was quite a moment for me.
right, yeah.
That's,
Over to speak the well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
So the next show is.
he called your name. Did you call his name? Because you did the punt.
Well, he did the punt pass and kick last week.
Failed.
You did better than a lot of people. I mean, you're way better
No,
than average.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
I shanked the punt, so as soon as I punted the ball, I was like, "No, there's no way. I don't have a 49."
People can't punt in penny loafers, so that's That's a drawback.
Right. Can't do that.
Can we do a show tomorrow night?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gonna get it on camera.
Right
This is
now.
what
I do a
happens.
show.
Right.
This is what happens. Matt's like, "We're gonna do a show, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have all these people." And Clint's like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And then Saturday night rolls around, and nothing.
We're going to book ourselves for January.
Okay.
So we'll come
Yeah.
on your show in January. That'll be
Actually,
fun.
I'm out for January, guys.
Wow.
So it begins.
Guess it's 2 guys in the Ville.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's end this with hey. So you serve our United States. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All you do for us, and I think that's I think you're a hero to us here in Bartlesville. So we appreciate what you do. So are you going anywhere soon that
Not
you can
anytime
talk about?
soon. Yeah,
Okay,
nope.
good.
So I'm back to the reserve status. So it's just
Nice.
the monthly obligations and the 2 weeks out of the summer.
Now you went over how many times?
I've been over twice. I was in
Twice.
Iraq in 2004 and in Afghanistan last year.
Good. Well, we appreciate
For
it.
what it's worth, Matt helped some kids across the street in elementary school last week.
Wow.
Did.
Good job.
Wow.
Did.
Okay,
This is typically where they insert their CrossFit plug.
Right.
I was gonna
The
say it.
military has to be balanced
I
by.
was gonna say that. You did it yourself. That's on you.
Hey, you got a new gig. All you guys. You started with the RVS, and then you started with City Church. Are you at City Church, man?
Yes, sir. I'm the youth pastor at City Church now,
Nice.
so
Well, good
it's
for them.
literally my dream job besides podcasting.
Right.
Right.
This one actually pays. So.
It's actually paid. Well, hey, listen, guys, get the magazine out. They're out today, and then they'll be out all of them tomorrow. So 140 drop sites. It's a great issue. We appreciate you 3 guys in the Ville for coming out, sharing your
Thank
story.
you.
Yeah, thanks.
And,
Thanks for having me.
So the other day, I was on Facebook and I saw a millionaire go way back. work out at the same gym. Are you still coming?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm eating.
Yes, you are. And also, you're with the New Kings Band.
Yes.
And we've been dying to get you guys up here to sing for us, so at least I got part of you up here. But you wrote this song for a remembrance on Officer Fouts.
Yes.
And it touched my heart because obviously this month is the month coming up that we lost Tyler, and when I heard that song, I cried like a baby. But I think the acoustics in here are awesome, and I think when people hear this song, they're going to be moved like I was. And so I appreciate you writing that, and appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, you bet, brother. All right, take it away.
Okay. you through. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
That's so good. So good. Hey guys, hey, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you guys every month that we come to you guys. Okay, these guys are going to be out today and all out tomorrow, so go get your copy before they're all gone. God bless you guys and have a great day.